Hello and welcome Universe Mode. This is ECW. You can rest your head easy. The show of the week has arrived once again, coming off of what was without a shadow of a doubt one of the greatest pay-per-views we have seen. Once again, we always seem to knock it out of the park. We are something else. Let's be real when it comes to ECW. And we're celebrating that by being in the most famous arena in the world for this episode of ECW. We are in Madison Square Garden for tonight's edition of ECW, and what an edition it is going to be, as it always is, week in and week out. Some pretty interesting matches on tap here tonight, and you see one right there. The fallout between the Four Horsemen and the British Empire continues on here tonight, as we see the last two members of the Four Horsemen that are kind of still standing after everything that has gone on. Apollo Crews and Rich Swann going to have to team up to take on the duo of Drew McIntyre and Neville, and it wouldn't surprise me if the Cruiserweight champion Zack Sabre Jr. is going to be at ringside with them here tonight. That is to come later on tonight, but for our main event of the evening, we could be in for a truly insane match between two guys who will throw their bodies to the limit just to throw another forearm that will try and crack someone's jaw. Tonight's main event, Minoru Suzuki will take on one half of the Switchblade of Anarchy, the team that was unsuccessful in winning the ECW Tag Team titles at ECW Heatwave, in Sami Callihan. Should be a very interesting main event, should be a very insane main event, as the bodyguard of ECW will stand probably with the ECW champion by his side as well. Seth Rollins retaining as well at Heatwave, but not before you could get through his celebration. Some very questionable things happened at the end of Heatwave regarding the new television champion, Kenny Omega, and that is exactly what is going to kick things off here tonight. We are going to be hearing from the new television champion, maybe about his victory, but most certainly, I hope, about what he was doing in Seth Rollins' spotlight at the end of Heatwave. We'll find that out right now, I hope. Well, here he comes, no belt with him. Omega just making his way down towards the ring, basically wearing the same thing that he wore at the end of Heatwave. As I said, you know, Kenny Omega is the new ECW television champion, but it doesn't seem as if he's interested in letting people know that he beat Tetsuya Naito in what can only be called effectively one hell of a contest between the two. It was outstanding between Omega and Naito, but Omega picked up the win. He is now, of course, the television champion, but like I said, you know, other things seem to be on his mind, but Omega's going to answer those for us here, and he's going to start by talking about that victory at Heatwave. He says that, you know, there are bigger things that happened in the evening to talk about maybe, but Kenny Omega does want to proclaim that he is glad to be the ECW television champion. Naito gave him one hell of a fight, but Omega stuck to his word, and at the end of the evening was the champion. And Kenny Omega continuing on here and saying that for all the mind games they played, is Naito a fantastic competitor? Yes, but is he the king of wrestling? No. Kenny Omega believes himself to be that, but there is much more important things to talk about. And Omega's going to waste no time in getting into them. At the end of ECW Heatwave, he stood in the ring with Seth Rollins. He stayed across from the man who he had been defeated by, and Omega did one simple thing in that. He let Rollins know he wants him again. Oh, shit. Kenny Omega simply putting it out there. Why wait for the announcement to be made? Why wait any longer? Seth Rollins, Kenny Omega challenges you at SummerSlam. Belt for belt, title for title, Omega Rollins 2. You madman, Kenny Omega. Do you know what you are getting yourself into? You lost once. You want to lose again? And on top of that, you want to lose a title to go with it? Be my guest. Kenny Omega, be my guest. You know what? You know what? No. Why wait? You're right, Kenny Omega. At SummerSlam, we will have to wait until we hear from the ECW champion. Kenny Omega, you don't get to dictate what goes on around here. You may be a champion, yes. You may be the television champion. You may well have had a fantastic match at Heatwave. You may well be one of the best on this roster. You are not the best. You are not the ECW champion. nor are you the general manager. You can go around making challenges all you want, but the final say comes between the champion and myself. And if there's going to be any deciding about that match from SummerSlam, it's going to come from us two, not from you. How does that sound, Omega? Good with you? Good. If you don't like it, well, you're not the general manager, so I guess you'll just have to live with it. Anyway, we have, to start tonight's episode of ECW, Cruiserweight action going on here tonight. Between Mustafa Ali and Buddy Murphy, two-thirds of the trio that recently made their debut in the Cruiserweight division over these last few weeks. We saw the other one, Drew Gulak, in a very, very competitive matchup at ECW Heatwave. My apologies there. In a submission match against Zack Sabre Jr. Very competitive matchup. Sabre Jr. coming out on the winning end of it, though. Orienteering with Napalm Death, just too much to hang in there. That brutal submission hold and the way they were beating each other down, tearing at their limbs throughout the match. Very entertaining to watch indeed. If you're in for if you want to see a great wrestling matchup, I strongly recommend going to see that match. I strongly recommend going to see Heatwave as a whole. What a night it was. MK Ultra and the Wyatt family put on a storm raiser at the start of the show. The tag match itself, very entertaining. There was not a match on that card that disappointed. There was not a match on the card that let down, but every match on that card proved why ECW is the A show. And I especially believe that to be the case in the main event of the evening, in that 30-minute Iron Man match. What a match it was to witness. What a match it was to call. What a match it was to see Seth Rollins walk out winning that one 3-2 of Kyle O'Reilly to retain that ECW championship. As you saw in the start of Heatwave, even though I give you the highlights and the spoilers, I still 100% recommend you go back and watch that matchup. To be fair, I only spoiled some of the matches. I didn't spoil all of them. There are still some absolute great matches to go back there and watch. I would recommend watching them all, basically. But let's start off here tonight. Buddy Murphy, Mustafa Ali, one-on-one, both men looking for that victory. Ali tapped out over these last 2 weeks. First to the challenger, Drew Gulak, and then on last week's episode of ECW to the champion, Zack Sabre Jr., and is now looking to bounce back here tonight with a victory over Buddy Murphy, who was not pinned in the triple threat match that made Drew Gulak the #1 contender, not pinned or submitted like Mustafa Ali was. And he's looking to bounce back from that a little bit here. He's also looking to bounce back from his loss to Roderick Strong last week as well, and the attack post-match from Neville, who of course we'll be seeing in action later on tonight. Mustafa Ali creating some separation. Hurricanrana from up high into the cover here on Buddy Murphy, looking to put him away early on. Murphy kicking out on a 1 count there. Well, Ali off to the strongest start of the two right now and just demonstrating his strength there with a slam on Buddy Murphy. Murphy, one of the strongest in the division, constantly having to cut weight that he may put on in order to stay around that 205 limit, but certainly is, certainly is capable of wrestling at this ability, at this weight class week in and week out, as he would choose to, as he would like to. But it's kind of tough to just focus on this episode of ECW with what we've had happen already. You know, it's kind of tough to focus on this matchup with what we just heard from Kenny Omega. I mean, yeah, okay, it's a great match. I won't deny it. Omega Rollins 1 was outstanding back at Living Dangerously, but to think that he can just walk in here and say what match is going to happen, it's just asinine, essentially, for him to think that. I'll decide. Rollins will decide. We'll decide together what kind of matchup we want to happen here. Not Seth Rollins. Not Kenny Omega, sorry. Kenny Omega is not going to decide what is going to happen in this one. It will be down to myself and the champion. Don't worry, we're not going to fluke out on you heading into SummerSlam. Something big is going to happen, but we'll talk about it instead of making a what I'm looking for, just a decision on the fly. A reactionary decision. We're not interested in making something like that. It's not how you make an A show. You don't make an A show by having reactionary decisions. You have an A show by making the best decisions. And we'll think about how we're going to go about with that And when we're settled and happy, we'll come back to you on it. Take a look at this now. Mustafa Ali, though, fighting on DDT to Buddy Murphy there. Ali up on the ropes, and coming flying back in there. With a tope, gonna go up to the top rope now. Ali, 5-4. Could have put this one away. Had to angle himself there, and I think that's why he didn't go for the immediate cover. But there's the 0-5-4 that stands a good chance of putting Buddy Murphy down and out here. Into the cover goes Ali. 1, 2, and 3. Mustafa Ali victorious here on ECW to kick things off. Might be, glossed over in terms of other things on the card that were going on, but Ali, nevertheless, your winner here as ECW kicks things off on its road to SummerSlam. And hey, if Zack Sabre Jr. is in need of a #1 contender, well, Mustafa Ali is certainly looking to try and help himself get somewhere close to that with a victory here tonight. The division's still stacked with talents, though, and I wonder who might want to step up on the way towards that event. We shall find out how that will go down, but that is to come. Zack Sabre Jr. maybe here later on tonight, but he's not in action in the Cruiserweight Championship. May have a match decided for it down the line. We shall see. Keep your eyes open, of course. I don't make decisions on the fly. Anyway, let's move on to our next contest here, which, if I remember rightly, is going to be a fairly interesting one. He's going to be Aleister Black of the Wyatt family going one-on-one against the former World Heavyweight Champion, Tyler Breeze. Well, that was pretty interesting. Tyler Breeze just didn't make his entrance. He just walked right down to the ring. He didn't seem he was interested in making the entrance either. He just walked right down and is standing in the ring right now. Very interesting for the two-time world champion to be doing something like that, but it seems as if he just wants to get right into business here. To be fair, he's been struggling, it has to be said, since arriving on ECW. But then again, we have such a talented roster that some other talents have been struggling as well. I mean, you look at Sami Zayn, another guy who will be in action later on tonight, actually up next, but, he's been struggling. Guys even who came up from NXT, like Hiroshi Tanahashi, jeez, I wish. Kurt Angle have struggled. And you look down at, both of them in a way. Cedric Alexander's also struggled, Tough to break in on a roster that is filled with stars and a roster that has the greatest of all time on it as well. But that being said, it doesn't really make a difference to this man because he is always by the side of a family. He is always supporting a family. That, of course, is the Wyatt family, who was victorious over MK Ultra, clean sweeping them in what can only be described, though, as a completely insane brawl between both sides. It was something to behold, just watching weapons fly about, watching them attack each other on different sides of the, not even the ring, the arena. Black was engaged with Raven for a very long time in that matchup, squaring up with one another. And it eventually came to the end with Braun Strowman, the monster among men, eliminated everyone in that matchup. Eliminated Wolf, Harper, and Raven as well. While Bray Wyatt and Aleister Black had 0. However, Black has great success going for him in terms of that television championship. He has great success going for him in terms of the athlete that he is, and he knows that. He is aware of that as well. Two-time television champion is Aleister Black. Really made his impact as a member of the Wyatt family, and also makes his impact with people's chests with kicks like that one. Oh, here we go. Aleister Black getting going early on against Tyler Breeze. What a match this is for Black to win. Tyler Breeze, struggling or not since arriving to ECW, is a two-time World Heavyweight Champion, a former Royal Rumble winner, a former King of the Ring, and a former United States Champion. The only thing he has not accomplished as a single superstar is winning Money in the Bank. There have been questions over Breeze as well, wondering, would he take the drop maybe down to a cruiserweight level? The former world champion in the cruiserweight level. We've seen Austin Aries do it. Nice Hurricanrana there. Would he take the drop down maybe and go after Zack Sabre Jr. That's kind of been talking about for a few people, and I'll talk about it in a little bit. I'm not too sure about Tyler Breeze. I think it might actually be a smart idea if Breeze did it. But I'll talk about it up next in regards to another guy. That being Sami Zayn. I'll talk about it during his match. Don't want to take away from this match. Aleister Black certainly not going to be making any jumps down towards the Cruiserweight division. Guy is in peak shape at around that 215, 220. Yeah, it's 10 pounds away from the Cruiserweight Championship, but that is a lot of that is a lot to drop when you are pound for pound muscle weight. Something that should absolutely be considered when looking at, Aleister Black, who had to evade a supermodel kick there. Breeze able to skip his way, able to get his way out of that one. Step up into Zaguri here. Aleister Black having a little bit of trouble going up against the former world champion right now. Saito suplex as well from Tyler Breeze. He is showing that he is all focus. The man, he used to be full of himself, used to see himself as the model, now completely locked in on that action in the ring. But Aleister Black striking there with that drop kick down on Tyler Breeze, and now just seems to be going through the motions. Maybe here he goes now. Moonsault from Aleister Black, and he seems to be feeling pretty good here. What is he going to do now? Breeze is on his feet, but he is staggering. Aleister Black in with the moonsault. Not once there, but he's lifting him up again, and he's going to hit it again as well. Moonsault number 2. And I think the match just might have come to an end for Tyler Breeze. Here we go. Black Mass. Cover on the 2-time champion to put him away, and Tyler Breeze forcing the shoulder up there at a count of 2. Breeze ain't giving in, and that is not going to settle well within the Wyatt family member. That is not going to settle well in Aleister Black, who looks for that kick again, but Breeze able to counter him. Breeze now, take a look at that transition into that single leg Boston Crab. Greatly done there. Black close to the ropes though, and I think he's going to get them as well. Yes, he is. Referee calls for the rope break. Breeze in the corner now, setting himself up for something here. Tyler Breeze looking for beauty shot, and Black skipped out of the way there. Great evasion from Aleister Black. Tyler Breeze though not giving in. Counters him there, gets elbowed and brought in now. There's the cutter. Dragon Slayer applied to a bloody Tyler Breeze, no less. Aleister Black looking to make him submit here. Would Breeze submit? He's been putting in an awfully gutsy performance so far as the former world champion. He won't give in here, and he isn't giving in right now. Tyler Breeze able to get his way out of it there, just only slightly. Kicked in the gut though. Black Mass again, and that should do it. There's 2, there's 3. Aleister Black seals the deal with that one. Victory for Black here on ECW. The job of the Wyatt family continues on. The victories for them continue on as well, and Aleister Black can be glad with that one. And the job isn't done. This is what happens when Bray Wyatt has his clutches back on you. Aleister Black was a single star for most of 2017, but now that he's by himself, now that he's back with the Wyatt family, it seems there's no containing him. The frustrations from what happened with MK Ultra may be continuing to pour in there from Aleister Black, and he was making sure that they were displayed at their fullest features. Black beating down Breeze after the bell, making sure that everyone knows as well, he just beat a 2-time world champion. No one else, just Aleister Black. Well, there we go. That's a victory for Black, but we're going to move on to our next contest of the evening now. I talked about him briefly in that matchup, and it should be a very entertaining one. It's Cedric Alexander against none other than Sami Zayn. Alright, let's move on here to this one. This one should be another entertaining matchup here on ECW. As I said, he is in action, and I talked about him a little in the last match. Sami Zayn going to be going up against Cedric Alexander here. I talked about, the Cruiserweight Championship stuff, and would Zayn drop down to a Cruiserweight Championship role? Would he drop down and try and be the Cruiserweight Champion? Sami Zayn, I think that's the, that would help him on his way towards being a Triple Crown champion, I believe. I'm not remembering. I don't know. Tertiary belts are nothing countable, so my bad there. Nevertheless, Sami Zayn is not interested in that. Sami Zayn says he knows where his logistics lie. He knows what he wants to be. He does not want to be in the Cruiserweight division. Sami Zayn says that that is not where he sees himself. That's not where he sees his future. Where he sees himself and anything along those lines, it is fighting amongst the biggest names on this brand. He wants to be up there fighting against the Kenny Omegas, the Tetsuya Naito's, and ultimately the Seth Rollins. However, he knows that there is a road to get to in order to achieve that, and Sami Zayn is aware that with all the talent on this brand, it is a long road to traverse as well. However, that's not going to stop him. He's not going to let that hold him down either. And so he's going to do his best here to overcome Cedric Alexander and prove to everyone that he needs to be up in that highest divisions. He needs to be challenging for those big titles, and he can make it happen as well. He can make it once again to that level where he once was, where he was, of course, a former world champion in this universe, albeit only for 1 month. Nevertheless, Sami Zayn and Cedric Alexander, regardless of if Sami Zayn wanted to be a Cruiserweight Championship challenger or not, still a very entertaining matchup we're in for here tonight, no doubt about it. Cedric Alexander gearing himself up for this one. He wants to put on a great performance as well. Challenge for the Cruiserweight Championship at Money in the Bank was unsuccessful, but proved that he can put up a challenge against Zack Sabre Jr. To be fair, Drew Gulak did the same as well and fell short. A lot of people can put up against a fight against the challenger, against the champion, sorry. Very few are able to overcome the champion, that's for certain. But nevertheless, let's get this one underway now. Zayn and Cedric ready to square up here. Two very talented athletes. Let's see what we are in for right about now. Collar and elbow tie up between the two to get things underway. Sami Zayn, a little bit heavier than Cedric, but yeah, that shouldn't hold down Cedric too much, especially with his high-flying offense. He's not really a guy as well who's going to let the slight weight advantage that Sami Zayn will have hold him down either. Nice hold applied here by Cedric and wrenching on it as well. Sami Zayn couldn't slip his way out of that one. Back into that collar and elbow tie-up again. Side headlock now by Cedric. Takeover. Sami Zayn going down. And Zayn able to retort with a side headlock of his own here on Cedric Alexander. Grips in on the arm. Great collar and elbow tie-up to start off with. Some great chain wrestling going on there. And Cedric hitting the mat. But stalemate continues on in this one. Cedric now kicking the back and brings him down there with that lariat. Going to spring up to the top rope. Sami Zayn very close indeed, but oh, frog splash. I'm not sure if he got all of that one. That looked like it hurt pretty hard. Turns him round there. Cedric now. Back suplex, spin out bomb. Here's looking at you, Blue Thunder bomb. Pretty interesting there for Cedric to hit a move like that. And lining himself up now. Throwing the ball in, and went to throw himself in as well with that dropkick, but Zayn batted it away. Take a look at this now. Tilt-a-whirl small package. Just doesn't go for the cover after it. Good back and forth contest from these two men at the start here. They are starting off a little slow, but it's not as if you want to go all out against either of these guys. You can waste your energy as much as you want, but it's going to be tough to try and put the other one down, that's for certain. Here goes Cedric. Now got that forearm in, but couldn't really cock much of a shot on it due to how close Sami Zayn was. He'll go for the cover, but only secure a 1 count as a result of it. Side headlock now. You know, a win over Sami Zayn, a former WWE champion. Much like the Tyler Breeze victory is big for Aleister Black, regardless of everything. The same can be said right now. You know, if Sami Zayn, if Cedric beats Sami Zayn here, that's a former WWE champion defeated. That's a big win for this man to take. And he's only been on this roster for 3 months now. Zayn might have been thinking something there, but Cedric did great to counter him. And take a look at this now. Half-hatch suplex there from Cedric Alexander. Sami Zayn feeling the wrath of it. Trying to get up to his feet. Brought down with that drop kick by Cedric. Follow-up elbow drop. Zayn moved out of the way of it. Lifts him up to his feet here. And a nice uppercut as well by Zayn. Can he act on a whim here? Looking for a snap suplex. Holding him up in the air for a little too long, and that allowed Cedric to pop his way out of it. Back suplex bomb again there. And Cedric will take himself up to that top rope again. And this time comes down with a great frog splash. Covers Sami Zayn to put him away here, and Zayn powering that shoulder up at 2. Irish whips him over to the opposite corner there, and what a drop kick he connected with as well. Props to Cedric on that one. He is fired up here, and he's going, effectively Mach speed for him here. Covers Zayn now after that suplex. But after that suplex cradle neck breaker, but couldn't capitalize on it. Referee said that Zayn's foot was underneath the ropes, I believe. Forearms now, looking like he's trying to back Zayn up to that turnbuckle again. Indeed he is. What a competitive match this has been. Sami Zayn truly trying to weather the storm right now against Cedric. What a knee there. Sami counters though, off the top rope now. Crossbody by Zayn. Both men going down there. Zayn the one getting up to his feet first. And here goes Sami Zayn now. Gonna send Cedric Alexander to the turnbuckle. Will it be for what we think it is? Nope. Not a haluva kick, but an exploder suplex in the corner for certain. Sami Zayn pretty close to closing this one out now. Cedric Alexander sent into the other turnbuckle. Haluva kick by Zayn. This one should be over. Into the cover on Cedric Alexander, and that will seal it. Sami Zayn, your winner here in a competitive matchup between the two men. Cedric was trying an awful lot, but in the end, Sami Zayn just too much for him. Good contest though between two fine athletes here, and that is what it is all about. As you see, there's Sami offering the hand. It is all about respect, which Cedric will give to him in retaliation. A good contest, a good outcome, and a good winner as well. No surprise there that there was these two men who would have resulted in an outcome like that one. Victory for Sami Zayn. Good stuff for the man from Montreal there. Cedric, though, can hold his head up high. He did put in a tough competition. Anyway, let's move on to the next contest now. This one going to be probably the most personal matchup of the night by a country mile. It is Apollo Crews and Rich Swann of the Four Horsemen against Drew McIntyre and Neville of the British Empire. Oh, here we go. Strap yourselves in. This is going to be a personal one, that's for certain. The Four Horsemen making their way out here for this. Oh my! I am looking forward to this one, but you know, it's that idea of they're on their own. The leaders are not there to look after them. They are by themselves. They are, I would argue, not prepared for something like this. Chris Jericho and Roderick Strong, well, they were still teaching them basically. They're still trying to make them. They're still trying to make them a thing, and they're not here right now to look after them. Sure, the Roddy one and may only be for a little bit of time, but the Chris Jericho one looking tough right now. But you got to imagine one thing is for certain, and that is the same thing that Roddy Strong carried into Heatwave. They've crossed family. Neville's crossed family, and it is time, regardless of that, for them to settle it. Oh boy, is this one going to be personal between these two teams as we await the arrival of the British Empire. Well, most importantly, first out, Drew McIntyre, it seems. British Empire going to come out one by one, it seems. Probably for the attention to go towards Neville when he comes out as well, but here is Drew McIntyre out first, the powerhouse, the brute, whatever you want to call him, of that of the trio that is the British Empire. He most certainly is that when it comes to the power. What a powerful athlete he is. And here he comes towards the ring. There is the Cruiserweight Champion accompanying him out with him as well. Zack Sabre Jr. coming towards the ring for this one. No surprise whatsoever there that Sabre Jr. is in accompaniment with him. As I said, Sabre Jr. overcoming Drew Gulak in their submission match for the British Empire out in full force. And I think, in some ways, that is a tactic, perhaps by all of them, and in many ways to mock the Four Horsemen. There's only two of them here right now. Chris Jericho still recovering from living dangerously. Roderick Strong not here tonight. Too beaten, too battered after Heatwave. However, it seems Neville is not about that. Neville wants right in at the deep end. He wants to finish off this ordeal, it seems, with the Four Horsemen. He wants to put it behind them by taking out the two weakest members. This was that level of threat that Neville sent to Roddy Strong before Heatwave, saying, what's gonna happen on ECW when poor little Apollo Crews or Rich Swann is on their own, and the British Empire is at their full, at their full element, at their full force. So that is almost exactly the case right now. The British Empire have the numbers advantage in this one. They have the experience advantage. And the undergraduates, shall we call them, of the Four Horsemen in Rich Swann and Apollo Crews are by themselves. And that is not something that Strong and Jericho want, but you look at it right now and there's nothing they can do about it. They are at home right now. They are recovering. They are beaten, broken, battered, bruised. They are hurt, and it is because of that man specifically that they are hurt. Neville has been on a rampage as of late, going through anyone he can find in his path in order to make that the case. And now, well, most specifically, the Four Horsemen. But now tonight it may seem to be the case that Neville wants to finish the business with them and move on to whatever he has in mind. The leader of the British Empire maybe looking to close things out here tonight, and let's see how he will look to go about that. Neville ready. Sabre Jr. presenting him almost. Weird how the only champion of the group is the one presenting the two men in the ring, but that is how they're going to do it. Apollo Crews there just rushing right at Drew McIntyre, and that didn't go the way he wanted it to. The two powerhouses of the duos in this one starting things off, but Drew McIntyre making Apollo Crews look like a 140-pound midget, essentially. And this is what Drew McIntyre is all about, that scary power. Just threw him over there like he was nothing. McIntyre, who at one point almost became the ECW champion, or wow, I don't want to say almost, was looking like he was going to become the ECW champion. And now he is just battering people alongside the British Empire. Tag made here. Neville in off the tag now. The king of the cruiserweights, as he calls himself. Now in. Of course, he has nothing to do with the cruiserweight division and the cruiserweight championship. That has everything to do with the man on the outside in Zack Sabre Jr. Though I imagine with the with the rampage that he has been on as of late, I don't think Zack Sabre Jr. is going to be calling Neville. Is going to be saying that no, Neville isn't the king of the cruiserweights. Tag in now, Rich Swann, and he goes flying off the top rope there. Swann now wrenching on the arm here. Trying to take care of Neville, trying to exact his own little bit of revenge on him here. I'm trying to figure out what he's going for. Took a long run to get himself up towards that top rope. And and McIntyre tried coming to the rescue. Swann shrugged it off though. Double foot stomp to Neville now. Looking for a back suplex, or a Saito suplex more so than, and he gets it as well. Neville in a little bit of trouble, although only a little bit. Able to counter his way out of it here. Turns him round, and oh no, dragon suplex to Rich Swann there, coming down on the top of his head. And there's Neville showing no respect. He is, and why would he? He is in such high momentum for one and attitude for another. His ego has to be through the roof given what has happened as of late. Putting away Jericho, beating Roderick Strong as well. And now with the British Empire amassing the victories that they are, working as well as they can. And of course that man on the outside with that Cruiserweight Championship in his possession. There's no reason why they wouldn't be. Why Neville's ego wouldn't be through the roof. After all, he is the leader of this thing as well. Look at those clubbing blows in the head there. McIntyre showing absolutely no remorse right now in the corner. Rich Swann, though, able to counter his way out. Just too much power, though. Rich Swann, though, trying to fight back here a little bit. Step up in Zagiri. McIntyre moves out of the way. Forearm shot again by Swann. Roundhouse kick as well. And he goes down. Rich Swann feeling pretty damn good right now. Oh, and Neville getting himself involved there. Surprise, surprise. The British Empire going to get themselves involved in whatever way they can. Sabre Jr., I think, yelling instructions on the outside as well. McIntyre very slow up to his feet here, and that might have been why, to play possum. Throws him in the corner. Tag made. Neville in off the tag. No flashy offense. Just boot into the face. Look at how they restrict as well. Rich Swann for being able to make the tag into Apollo Crews here. They are just beating him down. Tiger suplex. And I think Neville wants it. Neville wants Apollo Crews in the ring now. And here we go. Crews is in. And he gets Neville there kind of with that lariat. But he may have hurt his arm. Neville sprung up to his feet there. Look at the strength now of Neville as well. Michinoku driver. And down he goes. Into the mat. And in his own corner, Neville will climb up the top rope here. Might look for something big. Inverted 450. Didn't connect with the Ali. Wow. Let me try English again there. Mustafa Ali's finishing move. He tried for it, but Crews just wasn't there. Counter by Neville again. Throws him into the turnbuckle. And once again, McIntyre in off the tag. What are we going to see now from these two men? Neville. Hurricanrana. Powerbomb. Jesus Christ. Dangerous. Dangerous, dangerous moves from the British Empire. Headbutt of all things from McIntyre there. And the window that the Four Horsemen have to finally get one over looks to be fading. Counter, though, by Apollo Crews. Rolling cutter as well. Does Crews have it in him to put up one last big fight? Is he going to fight on, or is he going to make the tag? It looked a little bit sketchy there, what he might have been thinking. But McIntyre will take full advantage of it. Throw him into the mat there and look to seal it. McIntyre brings him in. Future shock DDT. Rolls through into the cover. There's the count. Swan in to make the save though. And oh, drop kicked as well. And out of the ring as well. Now the numbers game truly in the side of the British Empire. I think that was what they wanted. Tag made again here. They have made such rampant tags back and forth in this one, and here we go now. Double reverse suplex to Apollo Crews, all on his own with no one to rescue him, and this is how Neville will look to end it. Rings of Saturn applied on Apollo Crews. Will this seal it? Will this seal business with the Four Horsemen for good? He has it locked in, and yes, he taps out. It is done. It is over. It is settled. The British Empire have finished their deal with the Horsemen. It's over. It is now over. They've done what they wanted. That is business settled. And look at that. I knew that was incoming. That's why I called it ahead of time. That logo there from Neville. That logo there from the entire British Empire. The logo that they may well make their own. Down with the Four Horsemen. They just did it here on ECW. Sealed. Done. Over. The British Empire have brought the Four Horsemen to their knees, and Neville was the one to beat them all. Not much we can do about that. That sucks. That really does suck, but hey. Who knows what's next for Neville? Who knows what's next for the British Empire? One thing's for certain. I don't know what is next for the Four Horsemen. And I worry for them in that regard. Let's head into our main event of the evening, though, and we should be in to clench our jaws and get ready to wince a little bit from the impact we're going to be seeing. Coming up next, let's do this thing. Sami Callihan versus Minoru Suzuki. Oh, God. Are we ready? Because I don't know if we are. I really don't know if we are. This is gonna hit. That's for certain. Alright, let's do this thing. We've had a lot of drama on this episode of ECW. Well, I say a lot. First match, the start of the show. And the last match. Certainly a lot of drama around them. And, oof. Let's do this one. On his way out will be the man with the worst personality in the world, the bodyguard of ECW, and the man who protects the ECW champion himself, the greatest of all time, Seth Rollins. It is Minoru Suzuki. And yes, he does have the ECW champion in tow with him. The man who overcame Kyle O'Reilly in 30 minutes on this past Sunday on at Heatwave in that incredible, grueling Iron Man matchup that, as I said earlier in the night, Seth Rollins won 3-2 with a curb stomp even after he was 3-2 up to seal the deal and to make sure that O'Reilly wasn't up on his feet when the business was settled, sealed, and finished. Nevertheless, here comes Suzuki towards the ring right now, preparing for this one. Rollins in tow with him. I know Rollins is hurt, no doubt about it. I know Rollins is not 100% after what happened at the Iron Man match is that much of a surprise. He got pinned and submitted, I believe, which is a little disappointing, but Kyle O'Reilly did prove his point. You know, he did say that he could beat Seth Rollins in 30 minutes. Yeah, he did. Just didn't beat him enough. Rollins beat him more. And Rollins is ECW champion as a result of it. Kyle O'Reilly isn't. And good. Madison Square Garden not letting us down there. Knowing what we want to hear, knowing what Seth Rollins wants to hear. You could see him riling up the crowd there. Like him or not, you're going to sing that, or he's going to find you in the crowd, he's going to grab you, and he's going to beat the shit out of you. That is what Minoru Suzuki does. The man who's going to beat the shit out of tonight, though, probably is going to enjoy it, in all fairness. Bit of a weirdo in that regard, but hey, both of these guys are kind of weirdos like that. There it is, the man on the right, Sami Callihan, accompanied by the Switchblade Jay White. This one, I'm looking forward to this one, that's for certain. Callihan gearing himself up for this one, riling himself up. They took on DIY, a Heatwave for the tag team titles. It was a competitive matchup, but in the end, they just were kicking and kicking. DIY were just kicking the heads off of the Switchblade of Anarchy, and in the end, it was Sami Callihan who fell to the super kick knee strike combo of DIY. Jay White was putting in just a great performance. I gotta say, a solid performance from the Switchblade. Another man truly shining through since his arrival on ECW. And he showed that to be the true case with his victories over the tag team champions in singles competition and his performance at Heatwave as well. Now Sami Callihan, though, looking to get a win over Minoru Suzuki here tonight. Suzuki, been a little while since he lost one match as well, so it's probably for the best that he tries and picks up a win here tonight, in all fairness. However, doesn't matter about wins or losses with Suzuki. He's not here for titles, and he's certainly not here for Seth Rollins' title. He's here to protect Rollins. He's here to look after him and see if Rollins can't do a match. Suzuki will do it. We saw that last week when Rollins, with that knee injury that he had sustained, that he was still nursing heading into the match, and he engulfed at Heatwave. But even after that 30-minute Iron Man match, I wasn't going to put Rollins in this matchup. If he was 100% or not, I wasn't. He was having the night off. Suzuki, though, craving a fight. And that's exactly what's going to happen here tonight. Ooh, Sami Callihan, is that so wise to offer the... Oh, was that so wise, Sami Callihan? Oh, Yo, he moves out of the way of the dropkick there. Suzuki came blasting at him, or looked to go blasting at him there. Oh, and that's what you get for crossing. Suzuki, lariat, and a knee in the face. Not in that order, but still, each of them doing a good amount of damage to you. Don't get on the wrong side of Suzuki. Callihan, though, seeming to press his luck early on there. And now here goes Suzuki. Every thud you're going to hear from the kicks and the forearms are coming from Suzuki's own body. There is no, there is no kick pad. There is no elbow pad either to make them sound more impactful. That is how hard Suzuki will hit someone in the face. Just remember that. But Callihan, that sick, deranged mind of his, is probably going to enjoy it as well. So here we go. Callihan hope for something there. Gets hit in the head with a hard forearm there. Off the ropes now. And this time Suzuki will get his big spine buster, I guess. Rollins with a close eye on this one. Probably leaning against the... oh, good God. Cobra clutch. Overhead suplex there. And he goes down. I wonder what Rollins made of the remarks from Kenny Omega earlier on tonight. Of course, I haven't had the chance to talk to him. I've been here from the start of the show working. And I do wonder what he has to say about it. And I wonder when he'll have something to say about it as well. That headbutt bringing Callihan down. And he's going to go out to the apron here. Rollins, don't get involved. Just stand there and look your usual incredible self. Suzuki will take care of the rest. Snap mirroring him back in the ring. Knee in the gut by Suzuki as well. Here we go. And a kick in the back. That'll have you gripping your back in pain for some time. Up in the air now. Suzuki going to have something in store. Yep, buckle bomb to Callihan. We're only about 2-3 minutes in this matchup as well, and they're already going for the big moves. Oh, he really surprised, though. Hard knee in the face there. It's Sami Callihan, deranged as he usually is, loves that, and will stop fighting back here. Overhead belly to belly to Suzuki, who will roll out of the ring here and right next to the switchblade. Although if we're going outside of the ring, I'm not really too sure who benefits the most from this one. These guys can cause complete chaos out here. Suzuki, the one to grab first and to send him into the barricade. Head first into it as well. And go back in the ring as well. Suzuki not interested in going the whole hog, it seems. Up to the second rope now goes Minoru Suzuki. Not usually we see this man risk it like this, but that's what he's doing now. Double axe handle. And down he goes. Uh-oh. He's got something in mind. Wrapped through there. Double underhook suplex. Do you see how quick Suzuki moved with that one? Jesus. It shows the danger of him when he's able to move that quickly against you. Suzuki now. Oh, no. Oh, no. He's trapped the leg. He has trapped the leg here. And look at the pain on Sami Callihan's face. This leg lock applied here, and he's yanking at the limb. He's trying to tear it off. Suzuki taking pride in this as well. He yanks away at it right now. Callihan can't reach the ropes because Suzuki is holding him in place. Callihan, though, will fight through the pain and punch his way out of it here. Suzuki unable to finish the job just yet, but this war will continue on between the two men. Snap may take over now. No such luck, though, there for Sami Callihan, but he's able to counter Minoru Suzuki right now. Let's see what he's got in store here. A nasty uppercut for the man with the worst personality in the world. Callihan going outside of the ring here. If he goes, oh, he's sinking a weapon. Callihan, if you do this, you're going to get yourself disqualified, mate. Oh, Suzuki moves out of the way of it. And twice. Suzuki wants to fight here. Callahan's mind there getting the best of him a little bit. Going a little bit overboard there, trying to with that baseball bat. I think Callihan getting enraged there. Referee did a good job of making sure that they're trying to get the weapon off him, but Suzuki keeps this one going here, and look at this now on the arm. Oh, agonizing pain there for Callihan. We're back in the ring now. Uh-oh. German suplex to Callihan as well. This has been an insane main event. Just the brutality of it, more or less than anything. Callihan has endured a lot of pain here, and he's going to have to think of something to fight back. Up and over there. Hanging on. I think Callihan had his eyes on the ECW champion there. That may have cost him for a second, but he has. Suzuki up in his arms here. Oh, snake eyes to him as well. Chinlock applied. Suzuki moved his leg a little bit. He could reach the ropes, but make no mistake about it, I don't think he's going to want to tap out in this one. Sweeps his way out of it there. Oh, running bicycle kick there from Sami Callihan, and he may look to put this one away. And he's going to look to set up here for cranial contusion. Counter, though, from Suzuki. And oh, Suzuki might have been thinking gotch there, but got counted in toe. Slammed down by Callihan. Oh, my goodness. Risking it all in this one of these two men. No surprise, though, that they would. Chop now from Callihan. He's thinking suplex here on Suzuki. Going to hold him up in the air as well. Took too long, and Suzuki able to capitalize fully on it. And now Suzuki going to look to put things away with the gotch pile driver from Suzuki. Drilling Sami Callihan's head into the mat with that one. Oh, you got to imagine there is a part of Callihan that enjoyed it, though. Into the cover goes Suzuki. Dragged his foot, though, did Callihan. Over to the ropes there. Another cover by Suzuki. Now will this put things away here? He covers Callihan, who can get the shoulder up, albeit just barely, at the count of two. Callihan, though, fighting back, able to counter on here. Another chop to light up the chest, and another bicycle kick comes raining in. Will the cranial contusion this time strike? Oh, if he was looking for it, another great counter by Suzuki. Denied it, that's for certain. Drop kick, countered. Suzuki frustrated with himself there. And he's going to slam him down again now, but Callihan also showing the wear and tear of this matchup. And Callihan, after that slam, going to go into the cover here on Suzuki. Kind of tells the the grueling nature that Suzuki possesses after taking that for him to be able to kick out as early as one there. Now he's got to try and put him away here, up on the top rope. Oh, he went for a splash there, Suzuki, moving out of the way. And now, back suplex, maybe. Yes, he's going to get all of it. I think Sami Callihan is in a large degree of trouble right now, but he's still fighting on here, running knee in the corner. Suzuki, though, won't go down. Stays on his feet. Callihan takes him to another turnbuckle now. Suzuki, though, countering that one. And he throws Callihan into the turnbuckle there, face first as well, with no mercy to show for it. Sets himself up. Big boot! A running big boot that absolutely clattered him in the face there. Minoru Suzuki now. I think he's going to look to end this one. And I don't think Sami Callihan's going to be surviving after it either. A second one on its way. Gotch pile driver should seal it. Boom. Down in the mat. Head colliding into it. Suzuki drags him into the middle of the ring. He hooks the leg. This should be it. 1, 2, 3. It's over. Minoru Suzuki puts things to bed here with a victory over Sami Callihan in the main event. The man with the worst personality in the world back to winning ways here on ECW. A little bit off the rails maybe for us, a little bit more of a relaxed episode, but still a lot to talk about as well as we close things out here on ECW. Suzuki, though, happy to have another win under his belt, and happy as well that it was against a man who could take as much punishment as Sami Callihan. Suzuki, though, didn't seem too interested in taking too much punishment in return. He wanted to finish things, and finish things he most certainly did with that second Gotch pile driver. Well, there you have it. The biggest talking point was at the start of this show. Kenny Omega wants it. Champion versus champion, title for title at SummerSlam. However, he's going to have to wait before a decision is made on that one. That's for certain. The British Empire are done with the Horsemen, and I wonder where things go from there. We will find out. I can only assume in the weeks to come. That'll end this episode of ECW, though. Thank you guys for watching. Take care, guys. And ta-ra.